There's a step that you are taking now in the association of the hardware and the software, or the determination that the body and the spirit are finally the same thing, okay? They must be, because everything is the same stuff. We are as God created us, and no matter what we do, we will be included into that, and that can be very valuable to you. We're together here in this purpose of the admission of this teaching in this blue and gold book from a whole mind Jesus Christ identified in time, out of time, directing us to the certainty of the continuing transformation of our individual minds from the chaos, sickness, and death of our previous perceptual identity, our historic reference of time, to the positiveness that we are as God created us, holy and perfect in that sight. That involves, as we have said previously, the admission of the necessity for a perceptual transformation that we must undergo, since obviously the solution is apparently not here by the definitions of ourselves. That's a very large step. That step is the admission of the possibility of evolution, or that in time you can reach a broader or more expansive state of association in mind with yourself, okay? Now, the Course in Miracles from out of time says, not only can you do that and will you do that because you've identified the possibility of doing it, okay, but that since you can identify the possibility of becoming as God created you, you must in fact be that. Yeah. And that the manner in which you attempt to identify yourself coming to that truth is what is holding you in the bondage of yourself in your own association. That your sickness is only self-identity. Okay. Now, for those who are teaching the Course in Miracles and would like to look at the certainty that this is all that this says, okay, hopefully you'll now be able to do it. Because all it really says is that perceptual association is what sickness and death is, not the measurement of the degrees of that association. Right. Do you see? And that at no time, okay, is this earth constructed in an apparent objective reality real in any regard. And this is where you always test your associations with yourself. Now, the manner in which the Course does this is very simple. And this is the workbook, but let's once more now, Course teachers, please. It demands your attention to the certainty that where you are in this association with yourself is already gone. And that all the things that you have brought into this in your own dream are a part of a memory that you have about this. That you are all what? That you are all only memory. All right? Okay. Remember that we started with the premise that the universe is mind. Now, for some associations in objective reality, that's very difficult. To understand that no matter what it is, if it's a blazing star in the universe, okay, if it's the lowest depth of apparent hell, if it's a great expansion, if it's an associations of any kind, finally it's nothing but mind. Okay, everybody got a feel for this? You can divide it up in all sorts of ways, but it will only be, and I'll include the word consciousness here. It doesn't matter what the consciousness is. It doesn't, Jesus says in the Course, it doesn't matter what mind thinks. You only need admit that mind thinks. And that will bring you then into this association. Okay. But since all of your associations in your own memory patterns are always past, the mind that you bring into this present is really not thinking at all, because all of its associations are already gone, aren't they? So it's really not thinking. It's not whether it's good or bad, as we said, or whether it's right or wrong. It's simply that at that moment it is not real. No. How can we utilize the miracle, okay, now we're going to talk what a miracle is, to bring about wholeness and love and certainty that we are as God created us? The answer is very simple. Each moment in time that we do not give ourselves our previous memory identity in our own cellular relationships, God creating is all around us, because God creating is all around us, isn't it? And this is what we read in the previous lesson. Okay? And that's really working all the time, isn't it? Each time I don't hold on to that memory, I am whole. Now, I may then take a hold of another memory and hold myself in association, but somewhere in time, since time is only me, I have become perfect and am in heaven. And this is really all that the teaching is. So the practice then becomes, don't enter into previous body associations that you have brought with you into this sequential time association to keep your own reality. For if you do, you will condemn the creations of your mind to the sickness and death that you are identifying yourself as. Does everybody see that? Huh? How would you not? That's what you're doing here. It then becomes what? A dream of death from which there is no escape. Because all of the associations of your own memory mind, okay, are a part of what you think you are presently, and of course none of it is real. Okay. I'll give you some sentences so you can see what the miracle teachers really don't want to look at. All of your intentions are to death.
Yes.
Okay. Do you understand? You cannot intend to go to God without being with God. And is there a question on this from anyone? Okay. You say, I intend to go to God. I say, you are there. Okay. How could you not be? This is how you advanced teachers will tell whether an association is actually teaching from a whole mind or teaching from his own perspective of falseness. Do you see this? Huh? He will make if he doesn't make declarations of association, but simply says to you, none of this is so, including this message. Okay? He has made a lot of progress in his own association. He will never accord the perceptual mind any choice at all. None. That will allow the perceptual association to change in that mind. This is on the tape I read a couple of days ago. Are you getting a feel for this? Huh? Obviously, perceptual mind, which is what choice is what death is. You see? Why? Reality couldn't choose.
Right.
Huh? So if you make, the whole Course in Miracles is never choose. Now, obviously, a perceptual mind covers that up because its reality is based on studying A Course in Miracles in relationship to what it thinks it is. Isn't this so? No. The way a perceptual mind covers that is it stays in time by saying the Course teaches me to choose again. A whole mind, a transformed mind, knows that it only chooses once. You see? If it can choose at all. Now, the necessity for choose again is a simple indication that the consciousness is continuing to choose. Obviously, there is no choice in this matter.